Hi, I'm attorney Gregory Dell, joined by attorney Alexander Palamara, and we're going to talk about one of our success story cases against Sun Life Disability Insurance Company. And Alex, as you know, in these videos, we like to talk about the history of the claim, the basis for the denial, what you were able to do to overcome the denial, and then provide some tips for people who have a Sun Life claim that may help them in the future to secure their benefits. So let's get right into the background of this particular claim.
So our now client worked for a large construction company. He's a sales manager for a large construction company. Loved working there, worked there for many years. It's a job they loved and did, that he just would continue to do to this day if he wasn't disabled. Unfortunately, in October of 2015, he got involved in a motor vehicle accident. Someone actually rear-ended him. Immediate onset of back pain, neck pain. He did not stop working. This guy kept on working past that injury, had treatment, went back to work within a couple of weeks, and worked all the way until a second motor vehicle accident. Again, he was not at fault for this, but this poor guy got into another accident. Someone hit him again, and lo and behold, his injuries were just exacerbated. There was just no way he continued working. Thankfully, his employer provided him with a disability insurance policy, and they've provided him one with Sun Life Insurance Company. He applied for benefits, and lo and behold, after initially reviewing the claim, they approved the claim. Now, our client was actually pretty assured of being on claim because what's interesting about this one Sun Life policy is a unique factor because it's a group policy through an employer. And as we all know, most group policies have that change in definition of disability where after 2 years or sometimes 18 months or 36 months, what it means to be disabled will change. So for the first 2 years, you have to prove that you can't do your own occupation. Then after that, or more often than not, you have to prove that you can't do any gainful occupation. Well, his policy did not have that. So he felt pretty assured just sending in updated records and that his claim would be fine. He would not be denied benefits. But lo and behold, he got a denial of his claim.
So he thought it would stay in what we refer to as a total disability or own occupation definition of disability, which means unable to perform the substantial material duties of your occupation, and your occupation is the job you're performing at the time you became disabled. How would you classify his job duties at the time he became disabled?
It was definitely a light-duty job. Sales manager, you would think, oh, maybe he sits at a desk all day, it's a sedentary job, but not in his line of work. In his line of work, he has to go out and sell to potential customers and keep customers happy, on his feet a lot, traveling a little, driving around a lot. There's sedentary work as well. He's sitting at his desk part of the day as well. So he thought he'd be fine. He thought the medical records proved this. But what happened was with his claim, because he ended up getting this denial letter, and the denial letter was a typical denial letter where they talk about, oh, we did an updated review of your claim, a file review or a paper review. We reviewed the updated medical records. But what Sun Life did here was, they felt pretty justified in denying this claim. And I can't really, fault them here because what happened is that one of his treating providers completed an attending physician statement, an updated attending physician statement on his claim. In that document, the doctor agreed, whether he knowingly did it so or not, that the client could do full-time light-duty work. And his job was considered a light-duty work, or light-duty occupation, so Sun Life felt justified in denying this claim. I can't really fault him for it because the doctor filled it out, which kind of teaches us one thing, that you have to realize what you're submitting to the insurance company or what your doctors might be submitting on your behalf to the insurance company. It's so important, and the guy did not know that this was what this document said, and it was sent into the insurance company, and lo and behold, they used it as justification for denying the claim.
Right, and one of the ways that we always avoid that is when we are representing a claimant, we always require that the claimant's attending physician statement is submitted to us first, and then we submit to the disability company, which is what we do with all of the paperwork, so that we avoid this problem. Because someone may be saying, how could the doctor do that? But we see this maybe 3 out of 10 forms where a doctor doesn't know what's going on, or a nurse gets it, or the PA gets it, and they check off, yes, this person has no restrictions and limitations. And the restrictions and limitations they're thinking about are activities of daily living. No, they can go grocery shopping, they can go to movies, they can go out to dinner, they can walk the dog, but not restrictions and limitations applying to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week of work. And so this is another example where this person says light duty, and the doctor probably doesn't even know what light duty means.
Right. Which is actually true. But we like to control, or at least know what's going into the insurance company. Because sometimes there's things that you can't change, sometimes there's things that you can change and remedy. But this scenario, this is before we got involved, and lo and behold, he was denied benefits. So after he was denied benefits, he contacted our firm, and I spoke to him immediately. He described what was going on in his life, and I was like, this guy is disabled, there's no question about it. So I immediately got updated records from his treating providers. I immediately ordered a copy of the claim file from the insurance company. While doing all that, we had a functional capacity evaluation scheduled and performed on our client, which was supportive of his claim. And the one big thing I did is I obviously reached out to all of his doctors, but I reached out to that one doctor who completed the attending physician statement that was so detrimental to his case. And I spoke to the doctor, and I explained to the doctor what light duty was. And lo and behold, the doctor had no explanation of what light duty was when he filled out the APS. So I actually sent the doctor an email, in a long email with included what light duty was, how they define it by the Social Security Administration. I go, this is actually what light duty is defined as. And he had no idea whatsoever. He filled out an updated attending physician statement, basically changing his opinion, agreeing that there's no way that our client could do full-time light duty work. So I utilized that updated document. I utilized updated records. I utilized objective diagnostic test results that we compiled, the functional capacity evaluation, other support from other doctors, and there was just no way they could not overturn this denial.
Right.
So we filed this appeal. And there's something else that also, while the appeal, right before we filed the appeal, our client was actually diagnosed with colorectal cancer as well. So we had to get that documentation together, but we put together this appeal. Within 11 days of filing this appeal, Sun Life had overturned this denial.
Wow. And what is the status now on the claim, and what do you continue to do for the claimant?
He's still on claim. Thankfully, his treatment for cancer has been very successful. He's doing better in that regards, but he still has his back and neck issues. I mean, the guy was in multiple vehicle accidents. He's still messed up. He's still in a lot of pain on a daily basis. Pain medication worked, but only works so much. But when you take pain medication, it affects your ability to concentrate and be able to perform a high-level duty job. So to this day, we have him still on claim. We still get updated records from all of his treating providers. We still make sure that the records that we're submitting proves that he's unable to perform the duties of his own occupation. If we ever get any records that are not supportive or just not as strong as they should be, we're going to figure out a way to prove his claim continually so that he continues to be found to be disabled by Sun Life.
You said he was initially approved, correct?
Correct.
How long did they pay before they denied him?
3 years, about 3 years.
3 years?
Yep.
And there was no change in definition. So other than that one letter from the doctor, there probably wouldn't have been a denial necessarily.
100% correct.
And how often should someone who has a Sun Life policy expect that Sun Life's going to reach out or try to reach out to their doctors and ask for updated information on restrictions and limitations?
If you're lucky, it'll be a year. I mean, if you're really lucky, it could be a couple of years. But if you're lucky, it's a year. On most times, it's going to be twice a year, if not 3 times a year. They're going to ask for updated records or updated attending physician statements to be completed by your doctors.
And so now moving forward and with all of your clients with Sun Life or any disability carrier, how do you get involved with that process when they want an attending physician statement?
How do I get involved?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, with all my clients, as soon as the insurance company sends us a request for such, we're reaching out to the clients. We're saying, which doctors am I going to reach out to? Which doctors have you seen in the last few months? And most of the times I already know this, but if I don't know that I'm getting that information. Reaching out to the doctors immediately to figure out, do you want to have a phone call? I'm sending them a letter. I'm sending them phone calls as well. Any option that the doctor wants. Some doctors don't want to speak to us. Some doctors just want the form faxed to them and they'll fill it out, send it back to us. But we're making sure these, we're, in our cover letter to the doctors, we're explaining to them what the definition of disability is, what the client's occupation is, or what the definition of, if it's any gainful occupation, what that means in this scenario, because they have to take into account our client's training, education, and experience. But we are going to educate the doctors as much as we possibly can before they fill out these forms to make sure that they're filled out to the best of their abilities. Sometimes, we've had clients on claim for a number of years that we've worked with the doctors in the past, and we'll send them the old attending physician statements so they have a template of what they said last time or the last 5 times, So it's very important to keep your doctors, educated and informed of various, aspects of your claim.
And I know that this is something we also do in our monthly claim handling service to help people protect their benefits, because if you don't have someone like us managing the claim, then Sun Life in particular is going to go directly to the doctor. They don't even go to the claimants half the time. They go right to the doctor and send these forms, which is what happened here, because they know that they can create this discrepancy, which they did. This is one of their strategies. But when we're involved, the form has to come to our office. Then we are responsible for getting it back to them. And we tell them, don't contact our doctors, don't contact our clients, don't contact anyone associated with this claim unless you have express written permission from our office or our client.
100%.
And so that's the big tip in this one, is limit the communication with the disability company. But don't forget, you still have the burden to get them everything.
I mean, it's your duty to prove your claim to them, but you want to be able to control what they're getting, you know,
Right.
as much as you can, you know, because in this instance, this guy was denied benefits, went without benefits for a number of months, just because he wasn't able to control what the doctor improperly stated.
And luckily, you were able to get the doctor to change his opinion. It's hard for a claimant to go approach the doctor and say, "Doc, why did you say this when it should have been this?" And doctors have a different take when they're speaking to another lawyer who's hired to advocate for the claimant versus talking to the patient who's trying to explain something to the doctor, and it may not come across in the same manner.
Or maybe the patient doesn't realize to explain how light duty is defined, you know,
Right.
because that's very important. Once the doctor realized what light duty actually is, he was like, wait a minute, there's no way my patient can do light duty. That's ridiculous. Because you might think light duty is easy, it's light, you know, but there's more to it than just light duty. There's more to it than just sedentary occupations. More to it than just sitting there all day. So once you explain it to somebody, they kind of will get it more often than not.
Well, it's great that you were able to overcome this claim and continue to protect this claimant's benefits. If you're someone out there who has a Sun Life long-term disability claim, feel free to reach out to Alex or myself. We'd like to immediately provide you with a free phone consultation. No matter where you live in the country, we're available to assist you. We hope that you find this video and others helpful, and if you do, you're welcome to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking below, and we look forward to speaking with you should you need our help. Hi, I'm Gregory Dell, the Managing Attorney of Dell Disability Lawyers, and I hope you find the video you just watched helpful. We put these videos out all of the time, and we'd love if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Beyond our videos on our YouTube channel, we also have lots of information available on our website at diattorney.com, and we encourage you to come to our website. The goal is that we want you to be educated about the disability insurance process, and when you get to our website, you'll see that we have information all about your specific disability insurance company, your occupation, and your medical condition. And we've designed our website such that you can easily search our website to find things that you may specifically be looking for. Now, at our website, we have thousands and thousands of pages of information, hundreds of videos that you can search, plus we're building a section of reviews of all the disability insurance companies, and we have the Ask Our Lawyer section where you can go ahead and ask us any questions that you may have. Now, we realize that you may not need us right now, but you may need us in the future to help you with your disability claim, and we think one of the best ways to keep in touch is by clicking the button below and subscribing to our channel. And most importantly, again, no matter where you live in the country, we're always available. Just go ahead and give us a call. We're happy to discuss your claim and let you know immediately if we can help you.